Thanks for joining me today. Today I am working on ceiling blade fan covers. First thing you'll need for supplies for this project is scrap of paper or old ads, newspaper or brown paper bag, something that you could make a pattern from. And don't get worried because it's a very simple thing to do. A beginner could do this project. You'll need a pencil, pen, whichever you feel comfortable with, a ruler, scissors to cut paper and to cut fabric, tape, and we'll get to the reason why you need the tape, sewing supplies such as needle, thread, or you could use hot glue for this project, or some sort of glue that glues fabric. You do not necessarily have to use a sewing machine or sewing. You'll need the fabric and hook and loop tape, and that is optional too. We'll get to that in a moment. But the first thing you're going to do is turn off the circuit breaker. If you do not know where your circuit breaker is located for your ceiling fan, then take a piece of tape, put it over the ceiling fan switch with a note on it stating, do not turn on, because you got to think safety first. And then next you'll need a ladder or a chair, something to get tall enough to reach the ceiling fan blade. So first you'll take your paper, whether it be your craft paper, brown paper, whatever, and you are going to trace the ceiling fan blade, starting from the very, very top, going all the way down to the tip. And you want to note any unusual things like a point on it, or if it has like curves, but you'll trace that. If you really don't feel comfortable tracing, you could always fold the paper over, making a nice deep crease in it so that you know where the lines and margins are. When you get that down, before you cut it out, you will want to put a seam allowance right on the paper so that the ceiling fan blade will fit when you cut it out of your fabric. This just is where you're going to either sew or place the glue to cover it up to make this kind of an edge here. I sewed mine, but you could glue yours if you don't feel comfortable sewing. Now what you're going to do, so you don't have to deal with an awful hem job, you will take the top half of it and make a line about as far down as you feel comfortable making it. And that you'll fold over, if I can get mine to fold, which doesn't seem to want to, but you'll fold it over like this, and you will get that onto your fabric and cut out 2 per blade. And now that is going to be this right here. And I pink and sheared my edge so I wouldn't have to do a hemming there. But this takes care of that nice round curve at the top, so that you don't have to hem it and have raggedy edges on it. And then you will cut out your blade, your top fabric. Now if you're going to use the same fabric on both sides, you don't have to worry about top versus bottom side. But if you wanted to do something different, 2 different fabrics, you could do that. You could do a different one facing the top of the ceiling and one facing that you will see. Then next, you will put this little fabric right sides together, so all the way around, leaving this part open so you can fold it over, and you'll do that for both sides, and that makes this nice edge right here. Then next you will sew the 2 fan blades together, reminding yourself to leave enough opening that you feel comfortable with so that you can slip the fan blade cover over onto the blade. And you'll remember those little points there, and you will take your scissors and make little snips in here, not cutting what you just sewed, but just close to it so that it lays flatter. And then if you want, you don't have to do this part, but if you want to make it more secure, you can put hook and loop tape on it, or velcro. If you take a piece of scrap and you sew just a small little, I guess you would say a little rectangle on there, and you can put it like the scratchy side of the hook and loop tape so that it just holds better. You don't have to do that, step. That is an optional step. All in all, I hope this works out for you. And thank you for joining me, and happy sewing!